they're gonna try and give the mark of the beast when people are at rock bottom, so they try to accept it. But as a Christian, you say, don't take the mark of the beast, lose your life if you have to.
Amen. So in Revelation, it specifically names that mark of the beast as you look at Revelation 12 and 13. The book of Revelation lays one on top of the other, and so like chapter 6 is a parallel to 12, and chapter 7 is the resurrection, a parallel to 14, and then we see the wrath of God in the preceding chapters. And in chapter 6, which shows us what will happen during Revelation 12 and 13, when the war in heaven, Satan is kicked out, the Antichrist and the false prophet beast, the mark of the beast. So the parallel is Revelation 6, and Revelation 6 is a direct parallel to Matthew 24, what's commonly called the Olivet Discourse. Revelation 6 tells us of a white horse first, the Antichrist. He'll come crowned, and he begins to take his kingship. Then we see war, we see the red horse, right? With the red horse, it is World War. We probably think it's World War III, and that very well could be. And we see that symbol, the swords are a symbol. That then is followed by a black horse, which is a great famine through all the land. Now, when you look at how they genetically modify food and then mandate the genetic modification, you look at what Monsanto's done to our corn in America, where it has a terminator gene, where it won't replant itself, and it has poison in it. And I know you guys dealt with this with the BT corn over in Europe, but it will not reproduce itself. It will cause the beetle's belly to pop because of the gases it creates and poisoning. Well, so what happens when this famine, when all of a sudden now all the corn dies off and it won't reproduce, and there's having a problem because our soil has been demineralized by these major, industrial farming operations. They've killed off the little farmer. You can't afford to run a farm and live off your own land anymore. It's just so hard and difficult. So that third horse, the black horse, shows a balances in the hand, and they're you'll barely be able to get enough food to feed. You can work all day and barely get enough to feed yourself, let alone your family. So after these things happen, World War, a major famine and pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. That pestilence will probably be tied to a bioweapon that's released out of a lab, I believe, and you know what I'm talking about. Then comes that fourth seal in Revelation 6, the pale horse. 25% of the world's population is going to die at this point. Now, I believe as we ramp this up, the mark of the beast becomes available at this point, not necessarily from the very beginning, but we have that third temple built. We have the lamb sacrifice happening in Jerusalem for Zionism. And then that pale horse happens, and then what begins to follow next, that fifth seal, is where Christians are being decapitated per the Noahide laws. That Antichrist says they can't believe in Jesus Christ. I am the Christ. Kill anybody that won't take my mark and worship me. That's the fifth seal. But the hope is at the sixth seal, the sun and moon will be darkened, the stars shall fall from heaven. Then we'll see Jesus Christ coming in clouds with great power and glory. And it says he will gather together the believers and he will resurrect the dead saints at that time. That is the return of Christ. That's the resurrection. And that's what I look forward to. And it says that there will be us. It says that we will be alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord. And so many believers will make it through that point. They won't die in World War III. They won't be drafted. They won't die in the famine. They won't die during the 25% population that dies. They won't die under the mark of the beast. They'll stand strong. They'll be alive in the flesh when Jesus Christ comes back. Now, at that point, when he comes back, it says that even the great captains of the world will fall down and say, hide us from the wrath of the Lamb, for his great day has come. Then for the next 3.5 years, Jesus will pour out his wrath on the earth, and he will decimate earthly Jerusalem, which is the whore of Babylon. That mystery Babylon religion, Zionism, will be the reason for such destruction and loss of life. And Jesus will clean up the earth of those that worship the Antichrist, and then he will set up his own supernatural temple for 1,000 years.